Hello, everybody. My name is Waldo Alvarado, and I am the Equity and Diversity Director for the Reading School District. Yes, and I would like to give you some background, personal and professional background. Uh, I've been an employee with the Reading School District since 2000, and my background is in guidance counseling. I used to work as a guidance counselor at Northwest Middle School for 3 years. Then I was transferred to the senior high school for 7 years. And then when we opened the intermediate high school, I was promoted to assistant principal and did that work for 5 years. And since December of 2014, I work for the superintendent with this new title, Director of Equity and Diversity. Now, the question that I get all the time, not only from my colleagues, but also from parents, students, and community. Equity. What is equity? And I think that is a valid question. And the way that I explain equity is comparing equity with equality. Because in American society, we have this ingrained idea of equality. I mean, that's the language of the Constitution. And we also believe in equality. But the main difference is that we serve students that come from different places. As a matter of fact, I did my homework before this interview. And in our district, our students represent close to 43 different countries around the world. And believe it or not, they speak 33 different languages. So the students that we serve are very diverse, not only in terms of nationality, language, but also gender, ability, sexual orientation, nationality, religion, and so forth. So the term equity has to do with having a commitment to teach the students and provide the supports they need based on their specific needs. Equality is to treat everybody the same. And that can get us into some problems because not all the students are the same. They have different needs, different backgrounds, so they need to be treated differently. So I think a nice way to put it is in these words. There's nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of students that have unequal and different needs. So equity goes to the heart of that because we have to see what that child needs, and then we have to make a commitment as an institution, as a teacher, as a professional, to serve the specific needs of the students. That is equity. PHRC stands for the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission. And as you know, 6 years ago, the community, the families, they went to PHRC and they voiced some concerns about the way the district was operating. So they held some public hearings, and the district and PHRC, they came up with this joint agreement to make some changes within the school districts. And those changes cover three main areas. The first one was equal employment opportunities for all the students. The second one was equal employment opportunities, especially for professionals of color. And the last one was equal treatment and equal educational outcomes for all the students served within the school district. That agreement began in 2012, and right now we are in 2016, so it's been 4 years since we have been following all these stipulations. And I'm happy just to report that the school district and PHRC, they came to the negotiating table in August of this year, and we have signed a joint stipulation. And that stipulation will be in place for the last year that we have in this agreement. And this joint stipulation is a big deal. It is good news, because prior to that, we didn't have a stipulation. What we had was a lawsuit from PHRC. And they were claiming that the district was doing very little to comply with this agreement. And but we were able to sit down with them, their attorneys, our attorneys, and now we have come to this joint stipulation. One of the good news of this is that PHRC has certified that the Rain School District has demonstrated compliance for the year 2014 and 2015. Good news, because for that year we are in full compliance and we don't have to provide more evidence as to the way we are doing with all the 96 terms. But I would like to say also that in this joint stipulation, PHRC, they have seen our commitment, our good faith, and we have seen the same thing, on their side. They are committed. They really want to work with us, and now we have this nice partnership and relationship, and things I'm sure that are going to be moving forward. But I can tell you that a lot of those terms or mandates have been restructured. Like 19 of those mandates have been completely eliminated. Some of the reason for this is because we have complied fully with those terms, and some of the terms, the language, was not very specific, and they got rid of that. PHRC also has certified that the district only needs to make a statement of compliance for other 36 mandates. And they only require full response for 8 terms for the final year. And the last piece that we have is that we have some reports, statistical reports that we have to submit. And we anticipate that we will be in good shape, in a good position next year by the end of this agreement. So in a nutshell, that's PHRC, and that occupies, I would say, 80% of my time, trying to gather documentation of our compliance. Yes, deep equity is basically a professional development that the district has engaged in since last year. And actually, this academic year is going to be year 2 of implementation. And there are different aspects of deep equity. Number one is that we have a contract with Corwin, and they provide these national, and I would say international expert on the topic of equity. His name is Gary Howard. He spent last year 5 days with our principals, assistant principals, and teachers, laying the foundation for this deep equity. And but there are some other pieces. Central office also, we spent 1 full day with Gary in the summer of last year. And one of the outcomes of this first year is that we have multiplied the force, so to speak, in that now we have equity teams in every school building within the district. And those equity teams, they come to the training, and we are using the trainer model. They receive the content from this expert that comes to us, and the teams, they go into their schools and they will replicate the training with their staff. In every equity team, we have at least 5 members: the school principal, the assistant principal, the school counselor, the parent coordinator, and one of the teachers that is in a leading role within the school. For the second year, we are trying to expand this work and include more employees within the Reyes School District. So the goal for this year is to continue with the equity teams, and also we want to include the support staff, and that will be secretaries, that will be security officers in the buildings, that will be also custodians, facilities, lunchroom or cafeteria workers, and so forth. But there's another component that we are trying to start this year. And actually, this past week, this past Wednesday, we began with this other component. And that is what we call the YES initiative. And the YES, with double S, stands for Youth Equity Stewardship Series. So we are working with 40 students from the intermediate high schools and 40 students from the senior high school. They come together, and the students now are engaged in their own journey through equity, inclusion, diversity, and cultural competence. And I have to say, those are the key concepts of all this effort. The equity, the inclusiveness, the excellence, and something that Gary Howard calls culturally responsive practice. And we are looking and doing a lot of reflections and conversations as to our practice as leaders and teachers in this district, and see how we can support all the students, especially those students that are called historically underserved students. Students, that are English learners, students with special education or IEP, students also, dealing with the challenges of poverty and low income and so forth.
I'm from Miracleville and breaking dancing.
I'm from Warm Smiles Make the World Tour. From Black Parties and Give Me a Pound.
I am from Cheesy Hot Lasagna.
I am from a family that lays loving hands on me.
I am from American Indians.
My sweet little ones when they need their mama.
I am from the East Hood, the Incan Club.
I am from Thanksgiving, Powwows, Kutztown Festival, and the Underground Railroad.
I am from Gente Humilde, Honesta y Servida.